Hello. I hope you are having a wonderful day whenever you are listening to this. I do feel strongly that all of my readings are timeless, but I am very specifically being asked to say that this is a timeless reading. This is one that you might listen to today and then it might pop back up on your feed in 3 months. And even if you've listened to this, I might encourage you to listen to this one again because that was like a train horn. I don't think I live near a train that makes those sounds, but anyway, that could be significant or that's just confirmation. But what was I saying? Losing your train of thought might be significant. This one has a lot of symbolism, has a lot of imagery. I couldn't quite make sense of it all, and I was sitting here trying to, and I kind of got this big download, and the message that I got was just to share it. It's not my job at this moment to make sense of it. It's to relay the information and let you make sense of it. And we've been talking about that in some other readings about listening to your discernment and trusting your intuition. And so that isn't the message here today because we've done that before, but that is present here. So that's definitely part of this. And every time you listen to this, back to what I was saying, um, you might get something a little bit different because the messages are a little bit more, I don't know, visual, nuanced, and something that might ring true today may not ring true in 3 months. Something that didn't ring true today might hit you differently in 3 months. So that's the preamble of all of this. And I got two phrases come through as sort of what I hope will be guiding themes. Because again, some of this doesn't even make sense to me as I'm speaking to all of you. But the first one is find your healing. Find your healing. And the second is a stunning development in those words. So we will get into what exactly I think those mean or what exactly I'm being guided to those meaning. But I want to start with the healing bit first because that was the one that was clearest on the onset. So I'm seeing this collective, you are not new to healing. You have been on a healing journey in some regard for some time, whether that is your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, all of the above. And you may either be falling out of some of those habits or finding that those habits are no longer doing what they once did. And both of those things are okay because you are being asked to intuitively look inside and find the healing that resonates with you in this moment and really understand that healing is not one size fits all. It's not what you see as you're scrolling the internet and what one person says. It's not always placing crystals on your body or doing these really specific yoga moves or eating a diet devoid of whatever thing, the gut people are telling you not to eat. Gut health might be important. But it's really about understanding what you need in a given moment and finding that for yourself. I'm seeing people who are bogged down by external symbols of what healing is. And I'm getting this very specific, reel or TikTok. I can't remember which platform it was on. I think I remember the creator. So I'm going to try to find it and link it. But he's like a nutrition gym guy, not in the spiritual space at all, but he has this, I think it's him. Anyway, I'll link it if it is. If not, I will explain it. But this creator basically has a video where he's listening to all of this diet advice. And it's like, well, don't eat sugar because sugar is bad for you. And then he sort of puts something down with sugar, but don't eat grains because grains cause inflammation. And so he sort of puts his oatmeal aside and swaps it for oatmeal. It's like, but don't eat dairy, right? And so it kind of just goes through all of the things that these conflicting information, this conflicting nutritional information that is out there. And in the end, he's left with a glass of water, I think. And I'm seeing that happening where you've got all these different healing modalities and different teachings and different just different energies, different ideas circling in your brain and hitting you at full force, and it's all conflicting. And so you're sort of getting to a place where you feel numb And like it's beyond uninspired and unmotivated. It's almost like you don't even know how to make sense of everything coming at you, that you feel defeated in a sense. It's like, well, I don't know what I don't know which of this is true, so I'm not going to do any of it. And that is definitely not in your best interest. And you know that. I'm hearing very clearly that you do know that. But you are being asked to find your healing intuitively. And part of that I'm seeing has to do with like the elements, being connected to elements. So earth, fire, air, water, right? What you want to bring into your life, what you feel like you need more of in your life, and then also looking at your own astrology and your own chart, both just where things were when you were born, but also looking at where things are at whatever current moment you are in. Um, I am feeling a stronger pull towards earth and water. That doesn't mean that fire and air is not here, but earth signs, water signs in different placements in your chart might be significant, right? If you're a fire sign listening to this, that doesn't mean this isn't for you, but it might mean to look at the areas that you might want to bring earth and water into your life, or balance earth and water. So if you, I don't know, are like, so yeah, even if you are a fire sign, maybe you have water in your Cancer or water in your Venus, sorry, and you want to bring in that sort of like watery energy into your relationships. Or maybe you are a water sign and have fire in your Venus and still want to bring more watery energy into your relationships, right? It's just all about like understanding. I'm seeing like connection to the earth, walking in nature wherever you can find it, literally touching grass, bringing more water into your life. I think, I'm seeing like two very distinct images. One is someone swimming in the ocean, which best case, but I'm also seeing somebody like standing under a sprinkler on a hot day. So it's not about, taking this trip to the beach because someone on YouTube said you need to bring more watery energy into your life, but it's finding the ways to make that work. And I'm hearing that this healing is very connected to what is in your chart and sort of in the elements and balancing those elements. And so, for some reason, like bringing in more earth, bringing in more water, feels like it is what everyone is being called to do. I think that's really it. It's like, regardless of what your placements are, bringing in more earth and more water, and then looking for where earth and water exist and seeing how bringing in those elements into your life could contribute to healing. I think that's really the message here. And right now, again, timeless. At time of recording, this is in this northern hemisphere, it's summer, so there might be more just heat, fire in general. And so again, a reminder, water, earth. It's also Gemini season, right? So I think that's another relevant message of that's, we're in an airy season, so bring in again earth, water. But regardless of when you're listening, that might not be totally relevant. But regardless of when you're listening, something about like where earth and water are in your chart and connecting that to your healing, I'm being asked to move on. Even though my ego wants to keep talking about this and wants to make sense of it for you, I am being asked to move on, that I've said what I need to say about that, and you will intuitively know what to do with that and what that looks like for you at some point. So now I'm going to get to the place where I just get some symbolism. It kind of all came in this like dump of these different images, and I just sort of like wrote them down one at a time. And we're going to see what comes out as I talk through this list. So I'm being told that this is the stunning development section, even though I don't know what the stunning development is at this moment. So I am seeing, the first thing that I'm getting is like somebody who's trying to cancel a subscription. And there's this overall frustration with systems not working the way you thought they were. And I'm seeing two people, like someone who tried to cancel a subscription and it didn't cancel and you were charged and you were frustrated, or someone else who's like trying to cancel a subscription and, thinks that it's not canceling and reaches out to support and they're like, I see that it's canceled on my end. Like, you're all good. But that's a frustrating experience because like it was a bad website and you couldn't tell or whatever. And so you took time out of your day to call them or email or whatever. So I'm seeing this like frustration with the subscription cancellation, either related to that or separately. I am hearing trust Aaron. I don't, that might be significant. Aaron might be significant. And then my brain jumped to Aaron Brockovich. So it's almost like we may collectively as a society be getting to a time where we are going to see more whistleblowers come out or more people with information come out, and we are being asked to trust them like they were Aaron Brockovich. If you don't know who that is, look it up. There's a wonderful Julia Roberts movie about her. She is an environmental activist and is known as being a whistleblower. But like, there's something about whistleblowers. I don't know if Erin Brockovich is relevant specifically. She might be, but like, trust whistleblowers, trust the people that are speaking out against these larger systems, against the oligarchs, trust the people who are saying something different that makes us think, that maybe makes us uncomfortable collectively. And that could have something to do with this frustration of systems. It could not. That could just be something else. But there's something about just like trust Aaron, whoever Aaron is. Aaron, if you're listening, hi, we trust you. Okay. And then I heard the phrase slow starts and an open mind. So I'm specifically seeing somebody who has a very specific routine, and usually they're able to kind of like do their routine in the morning, right? Like they wake up, they get dressed, they brush, they kind of do everything in a very specific order. Is it a type A person that I'm seeing, or someone that has type A tendencies or outwardly portrays type A characteristics? And I say all of that because I think that distinction might be significant. And you have a morning routine, and like basically when things go wrong, or when go quote wrong, where you think things go wrong, something happens, you have a slower start. Keep an open mind about that. Lean into that slower start. You sleep through your alarm, and so you can't do your perfect morning journaling, but like, of course that's an important thing for you, but you're sort of faced with the decision of skipping your journaling or still journaling and just moving a little bit more slowly that morning. And I'm being asked to like keep an open mind, and instead of being stressed, just let yourself sort of like lean into it. As a part of that, I see this frustration with like your space and feeling like somebody is encroaching on your space. That could be a physical space, that could be a digital space, that could be a friend group, a job, like a promotion maybe you're going after and somebody else is sort of also going after it, or you had a specific responsibility at work and someone else is kind of trying to take that on, or you have an online space that you feel really passionate about, and it feels like someone new is coming into that and trying to break in, or like, someone trying to break into a friend group. And so I'm seeing some sensitivity there, and like slowing down and reevaluating that may be might be the key to just like discerning what is noise and what is actually a true, like, when to let someone in versus let someone out, I think is the big message there. Rice might be significant in relation to that. I don't know why. Either like birds eating rice when they're not supposed to eat rice. And then I'm seeing like birds eating oats. So there's something about like human involvement. It could be higher self-involvement, but this reminder that there's always external involvement. A rice cooker might be significant. These images are bizarre. I don't usually like get things this vividly. Or like it's just such specific things. But yeah, there's something about rice, a relationship with someone that centered around rice, someone who cooked rice for you. Like I'm seeing two people eating sushi together. It's like a sushi date. And I'm going to leave that there. And then I don't know if this next part is related, but I'm seeing kind of this relationship to productivity is being highlighted. And I'm seeing someone who has recently become really okay with like their version of what they call the bare minimum and just doing the bare minimum. So You may be someone who has struggled with keeping up with housework or doing your whatever workout routine, or, sort of this might actually connect back to find your healing. And you've gotten to a place where you're like, if I just put 2 dishes away and I don't wanna do it, I can stop. Or if I want to do 10 minutes of yoga, I can stop after, or run for a mile. And you've decided what your quote bare minimum looks like. And spirit is asking you to acknowledge that, like, those bare minimum moments are way more than the bare minimum. And you have high standards for yourself, and that can be a good thing. But it's this, I'm, it's an ask to be kind to yourself, to let go of perfectionism, and like understand that a 10-minute yoga or a 1 mile run or putting 5 dishes away, that's not the bare minimum. The bare minimum is like a stretch, right? And then if a stretch is your bare minimum, like the bare minimum is, I don't know, it's like your bare minimum is almost like before even taking action, it's like the intention. I don't know, there's just this ask for you to be kinder to yourself. Math or math homework might be significant. I'm seeing someone in school, like in a child or a teenager, like either struggling with math or excelling in math, but then like one concept comes up and kind of derails you. And maybe it was the first time where you weren't like really good at something. And so it's what I'm hearing is stick with things even if you're not good at them. You might not be good at things right away. And also know like when it's okay to not be good at someone. I'm seeing someone doing a hobby that they love, but they're just really bad at it. Like someone that loves dancing and they have no rhythm and they practice and they don't get better, but they have so much fun that it doesn't matter. And like not having those perfect conditions and those perfect skills to do what you want is okay. I'm seeing somebody running in like their high school. I'm seeing specifically Sophie shorts, which might only resonate for a particular generation of people who were a certain age at a certain time. But basically, they're these like cotton shorts that we wore in the early 2000s, and we rolled them like a million times. And I'm seeing somebody running. They're not great running shorts, but I'm seeing somebody running in those shorts and a big t-shirt and still having a great run alongside the person with the perfect, dry fit, whatever. And they've got the gels, and you are allowed to do things and take on things and engage in things without having the perfect stuff. And the stuff can be the physical pentacles stuff, but it can also be the skill or the practice or just jumping in. I'm also seeing somebody like who kind of accidentally is in the background of a lot of TikToks. Like you might be walking around and see people filming TikToks and you're like, I have to walk by. I'm not going to stop my journey, my flow, my commute. But inadvertently, you are kind of caught in this content of somebody else, and you don't really know what it's about, but you're just in the background of TikToks. Or you think you might be. Maybe you never see them. Maybe you do see them. Maybe you you've seen yourself on someone else's TikTok, and that was a really disorienting experience. But it's sort of this reminder. This goes back to the birds and oats, birds eating oats, where like there's always external involvement, right? We live our lives through our lenses, but almost everything we do is because of the involvement or the involvement of another human being or other human beings, right? Even the homes we live in, it's because somebody decided to build them and put them there. So that's just this reminder that we're all part of this bigger system, and we can focus on ourselves and we can focus on healing ourselves and making these stunning developments in our lives. But we are all contributing to something greater, and we are all a part of something beyond us and greater than us. And it is when all of us come together and find our collective healing that we can really make those starting developments and come together and make something greater. And, we all sort of, I'm seeing like a bunch of people walking around in spirals around each other. I feel like I'm seeing like a specific movie or a scene, but I don't know what it is, of just people like walking around kind of aimlessly, not in a specific path, but just circling one another, and almost like a what I would think is like a modern dance number, or the beginning of a modern dance number when there's a bunch of people on stage and they're just sort of like, yeah, I'm wandering. This is something specific, but I don't know what it is. But that could be significant. Um, but yeah, that's I think that's kind of like a big thing here. Um, okay, I think that's like the bulk of it. It was a bit scattered, but I think it was just like a lot of I'm hearing that it's just a lot of mini messages, many reminders. Again, I really was asked to not understand a lot of it and just come on here because I think my own perfectionism was hoping that I would be able to paint this beautiful picture and everything would sort of click into place. I don't feel that everything has clicked into place. I have a couple of more things to say after this, actually, but Spirit's really telling me that that's not the point. So this might be for me as much as it is for you, and that it's okay to understand like the little bits and pieces before understanding the big picture, right? It's like this ask, I am being asked, and I think you are also being asked to trust before the knowing, the full knowing comes, and like understand that the intuitive knowing is there. So this message came to me. I understand intuitively that this needs to go out. I understand that I don't need to paint this pretty picture to take all my notes and connect the dots in this beautiful story. Like I want to give that to you. But intuitively, if this is your message, you will listen to this and things will start to light up. And maybe you'll listen to this and something that I said today will only resonate after the fact and you'll remember something. So trusting before the knowing is really important here. And like, it's okay to not see the full picture. It's okay to trust that there is something coming and not know what is coming. And don't let that stifle you. Don't let that lead to inaction, right? It's okay to take action, even though you don't know where it's going. It's actually like asking you to do that. I'm seeing 202 or 212 or even 21. Those could be significant. And then with that, I'm also seeing someone who is like trying to see angel numbers. Like you use numbers as a way to validate whether or not you're on the right path. And you keep catching the numbers like, and they're one off. So you'll see like 223 or 334 or 110, right? And you get frustrated that you didn't catch it at the right time, and you think that that is telling you there's a helicopter going by. That could be significant, or it is just extra confirmation in this moment. Gosh, sorry, really distracting. So you might be on a certain path. You are trying to get signs from the universe. You want confirmation. You want someone to tell you, this universe to tell you through the symbols that you're used to seeing that yes, you are on the right path, and that's not happening. You're seeing things late. You're seeing things, a little bit off. It's like almost there, but it's not quite. And it is easy to see those things and think, ugh, well, it's not my time, it's not my path, I'm not getting the validation. But I think that's actually your message. You don't need the confirmation. If you're looking for it, you know that you're on the right path, and you don't need an external force or source to validate you, because intuitively, like, you know that it's right. And if those confirmations come through on their own, that's one thing. But if you're looking for them, it's like that you're trying to validate something that you already need. You're trying to validate something that you already know to be true. And it's like there's this fear of just trusting your own intuitive knowing. And Spirit is asking you to let go of that, because that's when the stunning developments happen. If you can let go of that fear, and when you intuitively know something, not look for the confirmation in numbers or other symbols, that's where things really start to take off. The last thing that I'm seeing is Orioles, the bird, orange bellies. I'm seeing someone like see an Oriole and be like, oh, that's a little robin, or vice versa, seeing a robin and saying, oh, that's an Oriole. So maybe like confusing those two, or just mistaking one thing for another. And then the Baltimore Orioles could be significant. Baltimore as a city, as a place. in literature, in music. I don't know. I don't know. It's like symbolism without direct or immediate meaning. I think it's just like the overarching thing, right? Pay attention to what symbols you're seeing. Seeing this baby duck following their mom. It's so cute. And I'm not a seer. That's the other thing. Usually I feel like my gifts are more knowing and feeling. And so having all this imagery kind of come into play is really interesting for me. But symbolism without direct or immediate meaning is still symbolism. It is still powerful. And you might not get to know why you're seeing things, why you have this knowing for certain things right now. I think that's it. This one felt like a wild ride. Okay, the message is over. Now I'm just going to talk to you for a minute. That one felt like a little bit of a ride. So I appreciate you sticking with it if you did. If you're still here, comment your favorite emoji. I've never asked you to do that before. But I kind of want to know whose energy is with me. I think that might help. I want to get a sense of whose energy has stuck around this long. So it doesn't have to be a specific emoji, just your favorite, because I want to know who's still here, who sat through this, and kind of, if it's okay, read your energy a little bit. Obviously I'm reading everybody's energy, but I don't know. I really appreciate you all, and that connection might be nice. So again, this one was a ride. If you are here and you got something out of that, amazing. Again, this one could pop up again, could mean something different next time. You may have never even thought about an Oriole before today, and then in 2 weeks you'll see somebody with like an Orioles t-shirt walking around, right? It's like little synchronicities like that, I think, is what the main thing that we're being asked to focus on here. And I say we because I think that part of the message for me was how differently this all came in, and then the knowing I had to just come on here and speak for half an hour. Oh my god, it's been half an hour. And see what comes out. So I'm going to leave it here. If anything comes through while I am getting this together, uploading, I will write it in the notes. Let that big truck go by. Okay. Thank you all. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, whatever, whenever you listen to this. And we will meet again soon.